And we're live.
Huh.
So, one of your viewers reached out to me after our last PKA episode and said, "Hey, I heard you're moving to Cedar Rapids or moved to Cedar Rapids. I've got a friend who teaches gun safety and gun shooting courses." So I took a class from him for like a day to go out to the range and shoot a rifle and shoot a pistol, which is kind of new for me. It's kind of interesting.
Nice. What all did you shoot?
I tried to actually, ahead of the show, try to find the fucking email for what he told me he had. I don't know. It was a small rifle and I think a medium-sized pistol that I've shot. And I was surprised. I've just never shot I think I've shot one gun once in my life prior to this, right? As like a kid. So I just was kind of like, well, shit, I at least ought to know what it feels like, how easy it is, like what to be looking for, like what to be doing with holding, et cetera. And I was shocked at how fucking easy it is. I mean, to be fair, I don't mean like how easy it would be to fire far, but like he was like, oh yeah, most home defense stuff is set up at like 10 foot away kind of deal. And like, it is not hard to hit a target 10 foot away with a rifle. Like that was,
No.
I'm like,
It's hard to miss.
Yeah.
You ever miss your TV with your remote control? It's backwards again. Fuck.
Yeah, even with a pistol at 10 feet, like I'm not an exceptional shot. I'm safe to be around, but I'm like a normal person, I would say. And I think at 10 feet, I can hit a 3x5 index card all the time.
Yeah,
you know,
it was not hard, and it was surprising. I mean, it was interesting. It was an interesting experience. The guy was real nice, and like, you know, it was kind of cool to see it and do it. But it was like, I was kind of shocked how fucking easy it was.
Did you like enjoy having the power of that man killer in your hands?
That's what he asked me, like when I did it, and I kind of looked at him like,
he asked you if you enjoyed holding a man killer.
Yeah, he kind of almost like that. He was like, you know, like he's like, if you want, you can just go a little Rambo on it, and I'm kind of like, no, I'm good with what I'm doing here because, you know, kind of for me, it was like, oh, I want to feel this out, see what it's like, to see what it actually looks like. I'm not really that interested in power. I don't even want a gun. I don't want a gun in my house because I don't actually think I'd have qualms with shooting someone who was invading my house, for example. I really don't. And I don't want to be in that situation where it escalates to that. Right? I don't want to be in the position where I'm going to fucking shoot somebody.
But what's the alternative? Like, I don't want to paint any nasty pictures here, but you know.
Because the alternative is I hit him with a bat or something, right?
What if he's got his own bat?
He goes home with some broken bones or something.
What if he's an excellent player?
But what if he just bring a gun to a pillow fight? Because that's
no, I agree, right? Like, what if he's?
What if there are two of them?
But like, what if it's some fucking kid who's doing something stupid as opposed to someone who means me actual fucking harm kind of deal, or means me minimal harm, and I end up killing the poor bastard? Because again, I could actually see that happening. I don't really want a gun in my house for that reason.
See, Filthy, I'm kind of
this hypothetical guy who's going to come in with the best of intentions. Like, no,
that's the thing. I'm with Filthy.
I stop him.
If it went like we hope it would, right? It's like, all right, here's a guy who's coming in. Promise only one fighter at a time. Also, roughly high school fight rules, right? If you do get the advantage, don't gouge my eyes out or hit me in the balls or anything, right? Have some honor here because your reputation is at stake, right?
I'm shocked that for such an intelligent, analytical...
Let's put a realistic night in the Filthy Robot household, right? I come back, you know, I'm a couple of beers in and I've started on the whiskey for the night. I hear a noise downstairs and I come downstairs and there's someone in my fucking house. Maybe it's dark. Maybe it's a little blurry, my vision. And I've got the gun and I'm just like waving it around, popping shots off. I find out later my wife is maybe downstairs, hasn't said anything. Maybe the neighbor's kid like is around or something. I've shot through a wall and killed someone. I don't want that shit.
Well, if you think that a typical night involves you drunkenly grabbing guns, and I'm on your side. Here's my question, because I think I had a similar gun background to what you do, and I was around your age when I got into guns. Did you feel guilty? Did you feel? I had this feeling like, what if my mom finds out I'm handling firearms, right? I'm grown. I have 2 children. I have my own house, but but it's like, I don't know if my parents would let me have a gun.
No, I didn't feel guilty. I went through and I was reading through like there was some like course requirement for it, or course book that went with it. It was like, you know, the rights you have to defend your home, the things you're going to have to testify about if you do shoot someone, how the situation is supposed to do, when you're supposed to back down or de-escalate or move away, and when you're et cetera. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want that shit.
So let's agree. There is a violent individual coming into your home, and you don't want my bike. Like, what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to do anything. You're going to get beat up, and you're not going to give him a Hollywood speech about how he doesn't need.
But
He's
think
going to
about this.
back of the head with the.
Think about this right now. How do I protect my bike, Taylor? Do I put a lock on it? 2 more locks on it? Do I
You shoot the bike thief.
security footage? Do I sit there with a gun watching it?
Well,
Or
that's not-
what about your house? Like, what do
Hey
you have?
guys, if I could just one talker at a time. The audio's so bad. I think you don't know, but it's so bad.
Oh, okay. Well, let's say the real situation wouldn't be the bike. Let's talk about the house. So, someone comes into your house. You don't assume they're looking for my laptop and they're going to take it and then make sure that they don't even mess up any wires or anything. And then they'll leave peace. Like, you have to assume they're coming there with ill intent because they broke into your fucking house, and you would rather not have a gun than have a gun because of some blue or red tape or some, like, you might get involved in he didn't retreat enough, but that's certainly better than being dead. Right.
Yeah. If you put it between those, but I don't think that really represents the full range of outcomes or the full range of situations that arise. Like, you're absolutely right. And I agree with you 100%. If you say, if the person is coming into my house with the intent to harm me and is armed in some way that, like with a gun, for example, then if that is the scenario, I absolutely want a gun in that scenario. No questions asked. Absolutely.
There is only one way to be prepared for the full range of potential outcomes, and that is the gun.
Yeah.
But the gun also removes a number of outcomes. There's no outcome where I can hurt someone with, or very few outcomes where I can hurt someone with the gun without killing them with the gun, or without seriously.
You'd be surprised. You aim low with a pistol, they'll be all right.
You don't want to aim low, though.
And I also don't want a pistol. I really preferred the rifle. It just seemed like much more newbie friendly.
It's a real man killer.
You don't want to defend your home with a rifle in your home. You definitely. Yeah. You're talking about punching through walls.
Plus, like, what you really want to do is you want to do that thing where you both draw. Like the, you want to get.
I want to shoot him when he doesn't see me. If he's.
That's the coward's way out. No, you do like a high noon kind of like, all right, count it down, and you both draw, because that's it. See, that scenario I described is literally as likely as this, like, docile, polite intruder who's like, please, sir, can I have some more? Only broke in because of my poor upbringing. Like, that's not going to happen.
No, certainly not. And
I don't know. I'm super pro gun, and because I am so pro gun, and I'm like exposed to so much self-affirming sort of media. Like I'm constantly reading these articles about like people breaking into people's houses and their homes being saved. Like guys, like the woman's in the house barricaded in, and the guy is just literally tearing through door after door to, like, he wants to rape her so bad that he's broken through the front door and he's all cut up with glass. And she's like, leave, I called police already. And he's like, they won't get here in time. And he's just like tearing through the second interior door with like his bare hands. And she's just like in a closet now with the gun, like, and he's just still coming. Like he's just really is in the mood for a raping, he's all about it.
It's way more likely than someone showing up at 1 a.m. to borrow sugar, and like you accidentally.
That guy's gonna get it too, though.
The range of things that actually happen, like the range of things that happen at my house is, there's people moving around the outside of my house at night. Sometimes, sometimes there's some fucking people making noise in the street or something, right? Like, how many times have you gone out and had a confrontation with someone?
I'll take that.
Right? And
0. I have had a couple of times where I was glad to have the gun. One time when we first moved here, so I felt a little less secure in a new home. And there were voices coming from the stable. So I went to check it out, and I was glad I had a shotgun. It turns out it just carried a little farther than I expected. They weren't in the stable.
He's on to us.
I was one time, I was driving. I was going a long drive to see Jackie's parents, and I brought the gun with me. We went into like a shady Quickie Mart gas station type situation. Mm-hmm. And I didn't need the gun. I never left my pocket, but I was so glad I had it because I felt like I was being, I don't know, like I was getting the stink eye. Maybe someone gave me the shoulder or something. And I was just like, I don't feel safe here. I was a fish out of water. I'll say it. I was the only white guy there. And I felt like I was being targeted or pre-targeted. And it just felt good to have a gun in my pocket, although it never left it. So there are a couple times when I was glad I had it, but I've never pointed at anybody, let alone shot it.
Yeah, no, and when I say, how many times have you had a situation, I don't mean like how many times you pulled a gun out for this. I mean, how many times in your life have you encountered some sort of hostile physical encounter with someone. Like, you know, like I'm thinking like in college, you know, I got fucking punched in the head a couple times, or I had my jaw broken in high school from being sucker punched. I'm just thinking about these things like, you know, do I want the tool to escalate this to a life or death situation on me for these types of things? These things happen, and they happen in my life.
I think that
he goes, I don't really want to fucking kill people because I had a gun for this, and this shit's gonna escalate because I have that. I don't know, man.
I think it's more of being prepared for them arriving with a gun. You know, like you have to assume they will show up fully escalated, and your duty is to be able to respond to that in kind. And so it's not that, you know, you're wanting to amp it up. It's that you need to be prepared for what you gotta assume they're gonna have.
One of the changes, like, I feel like Filthy would rather lose a little when he's entitled to win, right? And maybe I'm stupid for this, but I think he's like, man, this guy, he hit me in the eye, broke my orbital bone, but in the long term, I'm okay, and I'm glad there was no gunshots fired. I'm kind of like, well, fuck that guy. I was just in my living room. He deserves a killing. Why should I lose? You know?
Exactly. What's he doing in your house?
Because as I started with in this, right? Like, I think a part of me would find that too easy in that situation to shoot him.
You need a sword then. I get it now. I was confused. I thought you were insane. You just want a challenge. All right, my friend, the katana is got your name written all over, and you can actually get it engraved, so it literally can have your name all over. Oh, a tactical flail. That's what you need.
Dude, by the Witch
Come
King.
at me, intruder.
Can you imagine
Sigma prevails?
You come in to rob from a house, and Filthy's there, and a full Witch King get up. And
he's like, kunk, like flipping the fucking face.
A lot heavier than I thought.
Taylor, I imagine if I have the bat and the fucking gun in my house, and I'm going for the bat first, right?
I'm gonna
go for the gun first. If someone's fucking invading my home, I wake up in the night, there's a noise downstairs, and I've got a gun and a bat in the house. I'm gonna pick up the gun.
Yeah,
I said Taylor. I meant to say Filthy. Did I nail it? Would you rather lose a little than have somebody else lose a lot? Huh?
I guess it depends what you mean by a little and a lot here. I mean, that's going to fluctuate, but like, all right, yeah, if there's some like he fucking steals my stereo or something, am I going to be pretty pissed? Yeah. Am I glad I didn't shoot him for that and kill him? Probably.
I might line up with you there, but even the slightest amount of bodily harm or even like scare, you know, like, I don't know. I'll tell you what, like if you're in my house, my castle, I feel like you're not allowed to fuck with me even a little, right? You can't even come in, you know, without an invitation.
And that's part of what I'm saying.
Again,
I think I would shoot him in my house if they had my fucking stereo in that moment, kind of deal. And I don't know that I want that. I don't know that in that moment I want that power to do that.
Have you been robbed?
No. Well, not in my home.
That happened to me as a teenager, and I've heard other people talk about like the sense of safety that they've lost from it. It was a big deal for me. I don't know, maybe adult me handles it a little differently, but teenage me had night terrors for a decade, literally, right? From like 17 to nearly 30. I slept with a knife under my bed for a long time. I didn't feel safe without it. Like that sense of invasion that when I heard about on a TV show, it was like, really? The fuck is wrong with you? Your lock's on now. You know, you're fine. But when it happened to me, my response was uncontrollable. I should have got therapy.
It's violated.
As soon as I'm illegally allowed to, I'm getting myself a tactical crossbow.
Okay.